Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. Coming up, why the Minecraft chicken jockey meme might already be over.
Also, to save time or to not save time.
All that and more on the way next. Allie, did you notice, I don't know, maybe you were here for this. You leave later than I do. Did you notice that Nene bought a Papa John's pizza for everybody?
For everyone?
He bought a Papa John's pizza to share.
I was not here when he did that.
There's two entire pizzas from Papa John's in the fridge right now.
Oh my goodness.
One says Nene. The other one says, for you.
For you.
That means it's for all of us, right?
I would imagine, did he get like some type of special deal? Is that why he bought two pizzas?
Maybe it's buy one, get one or something?
Yeah.
So you just think Nene couldn't have just done something completely nice?
No, I think maybe he did, but also it's like, why that wouldn't be necessary, to buy everybody a pizza.
No, yeah. Especially because by the time that if you were gone, this must have been his dinner. Also, did I see this right? He got Chick-fil-A delivered for lunch, didn't he?
He did get Chick-fil-A delivered for lunch. I feel like, are we sure this was last night or was this the day before?
I think it had to be last night because there's only one piece of pizza missing.
Oh no.
There's no way that all of us, we don't have that big of a staff, but that many people just ignored that pizza there.
Yeah, I don't look in the fridge that much though.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no idea if there's something in there, I would miss it.
I guess it could be possible that's been sitting in there. The odds of that though.
Yeah.
That nobody else here.
Right? Why wouldn't he tell us about it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Especially if it had sat there for one day and only one piece was missing at most, he might have been going around like, hey, did you see the pizza I got? But maybe he just didn't want that kind of attention and gratitude from us.
Yeah, he just wanted to be the silent, person that gave but doesn't need the recognition.
Yeah. A real behind the scenes winner. I am excited because I will definitely have a piece of pizza for breakfast.
For breakfast? Yeah. We talked about this yesterday, how you like breakfast pizza.
I like pizza for breakfast and breakfast pizza, which are definitely two different things, but I will definitely go eat a pizza.
But if you eat pizza for breakfast, is it not breakfast pizza?
I'm kind of with you on that, yes. I have always been one to disagree with the breakfast rules.
Yeah.
That there's like 4 items that can be had for breakfast: pancakes, waffles, eggs, and bacon, and that's like it. We can have other things for breakfast.
You have to add potatoes in there. Potatoes are a thing.
The
Home
list
fries,
is a little longer. French
hash
toast,
browns.
sausage.
Yes.
But that's now we've exhausted the list, and there can be more to breakfast than that.
Absolutely, so much more. Cereal, you got to put cereal in there.
Mm-hmm.
But yogurt,
chili per our discussion yesterday.
Not chili,
and cold pizza.
Or
warmed up.
I feel like whatever works for you.
Sometimes I've had cold day-old fried chicken for breakfast. That's really good.
Oh no! Did you get sick after?
No, it's great. I have a stomach of steel. I do not get sick. I have some good news and bad news and good news.
Okay.
The good news is, finally, the Oscars are adding an awards category for stunts.
Oh, that's great.
Best stunt design. You think about all the great stunts that have taken place in movies over the years, and these people have not been recognized.
Nope.
So I think that's good news.
Yes.
Bad news.
Okay.
Not until 2028.
Why?
I know. Why? Why
that long?
What do you have to delay that for?
Man, that's sad for anybody that's coming up with cool stunts for films that are coming out
seriously
before 2028.
And now that will be 2028 which will be the movies from 2027. But still, that's literally 3 years from now.
Yeah.
Is when they'll finally be giving this award. Why do you need 3 years to prepare? It seems pretty straightforward.
They're like, we got to come up with the qualifications or the criteria.
Yeah.
I don't know. That seems like a lot of time.
You don't need that much time for that. The good news, though, the other good news, this means we're going to have to get another Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah.
Because how is Tom Cruise never doing all his own stunts, never going to get an award for best stunt design? He has to be involved somehow.
Yeah.
But of course, the last Mission Impossible, this is supposed to be the last one coming out this summer, right? So a couple of weeks from now, actually. So we're going to have to get another Mission Impossible, which to me is good news because I can't wait for the next Mission Impossible.
I mean,
and I don't even like Tom Cruise.
Right. I feel like they've been pretty good films, including the new ones. I feel like have actually been really good.
They're amazing.
Yeah. So, I'm a fan of all of the people that are in those films, and I feel like their stunts are really great. So, I agree.
I'm glad that these stunt people will finally get the recognition they deserve. I wonder, in some sense, maybe if this was encouraged by Only Murders in the Building. They've been very pro-stunt people in the newest season. Also,
Quentin Tarantino, famously pro-stunt.
Yeah.
Big director in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And, he had a movie not too long ago, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which
that's right.
Had Brad Pitt as a stunt performer. And so that was, I feel like, did a good job to put them more on the map as well with how underappreciated they can be.
By the way, speaking of that, did you hear that there is a Cliff Booth, which is Brad Pitt's character in the movie? He's getting his own spinoff.
You're kidding.
No, it's happening.
By Tarantino?
I think he's involved, but I don't think he's directing it.
Oh.
And maybe not even writing it.
No.
But it's still a great character.
He's an amazing character.
If Tarantino is involved, he's going to make sure it doesn't go off the rails.
I would hope so. Is Brad Pitt going to play him?
Yes.
Okay, great.
I believe that he is.
As long as that's happening, I will be on board.
I'm on board for that too. I can't wait. I'm so excited that Hollywood will finally award the stunt performers. But then again, you just know that it's going to be like the stunts from movies about Nazis and slavery and not like the movies that actually have exciting stuff. You know what I mean?
It's not going to be the action movies. No, it's not going to be John Wick 17.
No, it's not going to be Top Gun or Jurassic World, whatever. It's going to be, some movie about World War II.
Yeah.
That nobody saw.
Yeah.
Except for me, because I have to do it.
You watch them.
I must do it.
Have you ever found yourself in this situation, Hudson? Calling 911 and they won't answer?
I don't think I've ever called 911. So
Never.
No. So the answer is no.
Okay. Well, usually that should be a bad sign, right? 911's not answering. Like, what's going on?
I would think something was wrong with my phone.
Something's wrong with your phone, or all the dispatchers are taken. Who
in the
knows?
whole world?
Well, they don't all get sent to the whole world. It's too,
You're telling me there's not just one big 911 office somewhere.
No.
Where all of the dispatchers meet every day.
No.
And all the calls from around the country go there.
Afraid not.
So there's one like near us?
Yes. Multiple, probably. Because we live near a big city.
Good to know.
Yep.
I suppose. That's not how I pictured it, though.
Okay. Well, anyways, this happened just recently, actually, in February in I think it's Georgia. The man was attempting to call 911 to stop a potential break-in. Mm-hmm. And he was at work at the time. So this was in the morning. His wife called him. She's freaking out. She says somebody is tapping on the windows, checking the doors, trying to get inside their house with her and their 5-month-old daughter.
Okay.
And so she's
not
panicking.
Good. Yeah.
I would be panicking too. Mm-hmm. Anyone would be. And so she's calling him, which first of all, call 911.
Yeah, why didn't she just call 911?
Yeah. I mean, maybe she's like, I'm paranoid and this isn't actually happening. Who knows?
Yeah.
But, sometimes you're not always thinking straight when stuff like that happens.
Yep.
Either way, he's like, I'm going to call the non-emergency line. He tries to call the non-emergency line as he's driving home. Mm-hmm. And they're not answering.
Okay.
So he's like, all right, I need to call 911. Even though I'm not sure this is an emergency, I need to call 911. He calls 911 3 times before they pick up. Uh-huh. That should be a bad sign to anybody.
Yeah.
911 should not take that long to answer. I'm sorry.
No.
It's an emergency line.
I think after 2, I'd give up.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay.
Let me call something else.
Clearly, I have to just withstand this emergency alone.
That's probably why his wife called him, because she tried calling 911 and couldn't get an answer.
Good point. Maybe she did. I didn't look into that. But anyways, he calls. It doesn't, they don't pick up until finally after the 3 calls they do. But unfortunately, instead of immediately getting like, where's your location of this emergency? Mm-hmm. How can we help you? Blah, blah, blah. Instead, he hears these words. McGriddle. And then Sorry, what? That's what he hears.
We laugh, but it was an emergency. It was 911.
Yeah, by the time that dispatchers finally did get, police cars dispatched to his house, the person that was the potential trespasser was already gone. So there was nothing they could really do.
Yeah.
But so he is now accusing this dispatcher of making a McDonald's order while he was trying to make a 911 call. To me, it's more egregious, not that, this person was saying what they wanted, but it's more egregious that clearly they were ignoring their job by letting it ring 3 times, 3 separate times before they actually picked up.
Well, you think if they're saying McGriddle to somebody else that way, that there might have been another person at the office that was taking breakfast orders instead of getting calls, and maybe it wasn't their time to get calls or whatever, but distracting the whole office from
exactly
answering.
Right. Like, come on, is there only one dispatcher available in this? I don't know how big this county is. I don't know what the situation is, but I have never heard of anything like this happening.
So this is, it's a 911 call. It's recorded, right? Like they can prove that they didn't answer and then that they talking about McGriddles.
Yeah, they can definitely go back and look through the call logs and see that this number tried to call 3 times, wasn't able to get through, finally did. And then, they can hear what was said.
Yeah.
This
is bad news. But I don't know. I picture that there's somebody around the office at the 911 place going, hey, everybody, it's an emergency. It's 10:20. We need to get our McDonald's breakfast order in.
We got to get it in.
Quickly. Stop what you're doing. This is an emergency, everybody. And this is the result.
My favorite part is the Chatham County Chairman, Chester Ellis. Great name right there. He spoke concerning the McDonald's call, and he said that should never happen, okay? Your ordering breakfast should be different from answering a call. The two should never intertwine.
Never the twain shall meet. I think Chester said it best. Oh, that's true. But for all the good dispatchers out there, thank you.
Yes.
I hope I never have to call you. Most movies, you see them like I hate spoilers, right?
Yeah.
You need to go through the movie one time without knowing how it ends.
For sure.
And then some movies can be like really filled with tension, anxiety. You're going through them, but then you've seen it once. Then you watch it again, knowing the ending, and all of that is gone.
Yeah, all that tension is no longer there because you know how it ends.
You already know how the story ends. There's a few good movies, I can't think of any off the top of my head, that you still feel that. Like they're made so well that even though you know the end point, you're still like on the edge of your seat and your heart's racing and everything.
Right.
But
I feel like horror movies usually do that to me.
Yeah, because the jump scares and everything, even when you know you're coming, sometimes they catch you off guard. Easter's coming up. And I think it's easy for us to take for granted that we know the end of the story of Easter. We know that like Jesus gets crucified on the cross.
Yep.
And then is dead for 3 days and comes back, raises from the dead. We forget that everybody in the story did not know that was going to happen.
Good point.
Like the disciples literally at this time, like, because, we're getting up to the time, Holy Week and whatever, where the disciples, Jesus was like talking about this, like, hey, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
And if somebody was saying that to you and you didn't already know the outcome, you'd be like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Even if it was like somebody you thought was, if you thought Jesus was here with us, you'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to have this, like, you're going to die. And, like.
I mean, up until the very end, even though, Jesus was describing to the disciples what was going to happen, they still had a very different view of what they thought was going to happen. And that's evidenced in what they do in following what happens.
Because it turns their lives upside down.
Absolutely. And Peter denies Jesus 3 times as Jesus tells him he will do, even though Peter says, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
He does. And so it's just like, all of the things that happen, it's the opposite of probably what they wanted and the opposite of what they thought was going to happen. But yet, it was what needed to happen.
Yeah. And you think actually about it. Not only did they would have had a lot of disbelief going into the situation, but even after Jesus comes back, there's Thomas, doubting Thomas, being like, but are you really though? And so like, even then they didn't know what we should know now.
Yeah.
That the end of the story, and that is an amazing, it's important I think to be able to put ourselves in the disciples' shoes and think about what they were going through at that time.
Absolutely.
It's also though such a beautiful thing for us to know that the end of the story it's a happy ending, that Jesus does come back and that he fulfilled all the promises, and that by doing that, he's given us a chance at life with him, which is so amazing. And that's something, that does take away a lot of anxiety and tension when you think of it that way.
Absolutely. It gives you assurance in life. And that's the biggest thing, when you're talking about, like, let's say, for instance, when you're raising kids, the best thing they tell you is like, give them a reassuring environment, so that they don't have that anxiety and that worry that comes in, because they shouldn't be worrying about anything.
Making them second guess everything.
Exactly. Yeah. And making them unstable. And so that is exactly, even though there's so much in this life that brings us, instability, and there's all these changes and all of these different things that we go through as humankind, that's the thing that Jesus brings into your life when you have a relationship with him. It's assurance that that has already been done for you, and you don't need to worry and have anxiety about that weight anymore, because Jesus died for you on the cross.
Now, here's the thing. You want to have this anxiety and tension kind of go away. You want that reassurance in life. You can have it. God is there. Jesus is ready to help you out with that. All you need to do is start talking to him, say, hey, God, I want you in my life. Tell me more about all this. I'm anxious. I want some help. And he will do that for you. And you can also go to RadioU.com/free gift if you want to know more. Allie, the results are in. Thin lips are in.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least
a thin lip girly, this is good news for me.
I guess so. This is definitely true for guys in a couple different ways, but also maybe something for women to think about too. A new study was done. This is in Australia. They had a bunch of participants rate a bunch of faces. And these faces, they would like show them different versions of the face. I think it was 7 different versions from like obviously there was the natural version of the person's face. And then they would either plump up the lips like up to a 7 or like thin them out in the image down to like the
so it was
thinnest
the
they could
same
be.
person just with different type of lips.
Yeah, I think they did this with multiple faces.
Yeah,
but yes.
Okay.
And what they found in this study is that men strongly preferred on women the more natural style of lips, like the big pouty lips that are the more, like you would say, popular, like considered to be
on social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not what guys liked.
Ah.
Now, talking about women, that's not what guys liked on women. Talking about women, because they did this, they had like men rate men and women rate men and women.
Yeah.
Women on other women did prefer, they rated higher the pouty lips, like the big unnatural lips. But on men, they still rated the thinner lips better. So for guys, because at first I was like, oh, does that mean that like, guys should be the ones actually getting lip filler? But no, not at all. Now, Allie, of course, the only reason that women would feel the pressure to get their lips changed and puffed up, it's not just for men, right? Like,
no.
Evidently they're doing it for themselves based off of this study.
Yeah, no. I don't think that, that it might occur in some women's brain as like something, or it's like, oh, it'll make me more attractive if I do this, which could be to attract guys. But I feel personally that when women do kind of augment the way that they look using unnatural processes like lip filler or Botox or whatever, it's often because of pressure from social media, pressure from beauty standards that are put out on social media. Now, I think a lot of those like standards really are just kind of dumb. And also, if you ask most men, things that they wouldn't even notice.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
To me, the big one that I always laugh at, and it's not that I laugh at women that do them because I understand and I've done them before too, but it's like the hyper, manicuring your eyebrows. Most men do not notice eyebrows. Can I just say?
Unless they look wild.
Unless they look absolutely insane and you have a unibrow or something like that.
Or like they're way too fake and drawn on or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. But if you're just like regularly, grooming your eyebrows and maybe putting a little bit of, color in them if they're super duper light. But for the most part, guys are not going to notice if your eyebrows are like, on fleek or whatever, like they're not going to notice that. And so to me, it's just like, it's more for other women or, for social media attention rather than to get the attention of guys. I think they don't know.
This is very exemplary of the idea that many beauty standards may be rooted initially in somebody thinking as a woman that this is what a guy would like.
Right.
And then it spirals into, I need to do this because this is what other women are doing, and I gotta stay up, and that's what's beautiful.
Yeah.
But I also, as a guy, I can say I believe that almost any individual thing, like you could pick anything that a woman could do, any one thing, we wouldn't notice any of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's not one thing. Like we are, like you just are the way you are.
Exactly.
And changing one thing, your lips are not going to change your attractiveness level. Your fingernails are not going to change. Your eyebrow, like it's just not unless you really mess them up.
Yeah. To me, if you're going to do stuff, like do it for you. Don't do it to try and appease someone else. And also don't do it to try and fit into the beauty standard. Because guess what? The beauty standard changes every single day. If you try and catch up to it and try and continue to maintain that, you're just going to wear yourself out. So don't even worry about that. Like if you want to do it because it's something that you enjoy, that's fine. But don't feel like you need to do it to stay up to date.
You don't need to do anything.
Yeah, you literally
not with your appearance anyways.
Well, I mean, you can, I think, keep yourself groomed, all of that is important, but don't feel like you need to be pressured into do it to make someone like you or to make yourself better on the social media or whatever. Like that's not, don't feel that.
Yeah, do not. Get your popcorn ready. It's time for our Friday tradition, the Weekend Watchlist, letting you know which movies are new that you could be watching in theaters and maybe at home this weekend. But actually, let's focus on theaters because there's a lot of new movies coming out.
All right.
None are like big. None are the Minecraft movies.
Yeah.
But some interesting choices. We'll start with Warfare, starring Kit Connor and Will Poulter. A surveillance mission goes wrong for a platoon of American Navy SEALs in insurgent territory in Iraq.
Okay.
Warfare now in theaters. It has a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. And Nick Shager of the Daily Beast simply says, a taut and terrifying portrait of courage under fire.
Okay. I might need to check this out. That sounds interesting.
I have not heard really anything about this, but that's it's a good start. Also out this weekend, a new Blumhouse movie, Drop. Violet is a widowed mother who goes to an upscale restaurant to meet Henry, her charming and handsome date. However, her pleasant evening soon turns into a living nightmare when she receives phone messages from a mysterious hooded figure who threatens to kill her young son and sister unless she kills Henry.
I have seen a trailer for this, and it looks interesting, but I feel like the trailer revealed a lot.
Yeah, that's right. It revealed a little too much to have me really be all that interested.
Yeah.
So Drop is in theaters. It has an 85% on Rotten Tomatoes. Moira McDonald of the Seattle Times says Drop gets the job done and even throws in an excellent cocktail piano rendition of Baby Shark.
What?
I don't know. Now I'm kind of curious, though. I did see a trailer for this, too. The Amateur, starring Rami Malek. Charlie Heller is a brilliant CIA decoder whose world comes crashing down when his wife dies in a London terrorist attack. When his supervisors refuse to take action, his intelligence becomes the ultimate weapon as he embarks on a dangerous trek across the globe to track down those responsible. The Amateur is now in theaters. 64% on Rotten Tomatoes.
All right, solid.
Michael Phillips of the Chicago Tribune says, a film neither here nor there. Not a fan. But I thought the trailer for that actually looked interesting. It just seems like a kind of fun, different take on an action movie.
Sure.
A little John Wick style, but, brains instead of brawn and guts.
Yeah.
Finally, King of Kings. Renowned writer Charles Dickens shares the story of Jesus Christ with his son Walter. As his father narrates the stirring tale, Walter becomes captivated with the events of Jesus' life. King of Kings is now in theaters, 66% on Rotten Tomatoes. And Randy Myers of the San Jose Mercury News says, while a few choices do seem a bit odd, the King of Kings does a facile job of offering a crash course on Christ for a younger generation.
A nice little crash course.
And I was going to list like who's starring in that movie, but it's actually such a list of like huge names. That
it's a great cast.
We don't have time.
For the voice actors.
Okay, maybe we have time. Pierce Brosnan, Kenneth Branagh, Uma Thurman, Mark Hamill, Oscar Isaac. The list goes on.
Yeah,
Ben Kingsley, I think, is in it.
Yeah, it's a big cast, and it's animated film for kids. And yeah, I'm interested to check this one out for sure.
There's definitely like I could see 3 out of 4 of these movies. I don't know. I'm not saying which 3 out of 4. I just say I could see 3 out of 4 of these being like actually really entertaining.
Yeah,
but one of them's got to suck.
One of them probably is going to be disappointing. Although I will say the one that I'm eyeing so far is definitely the Warfare movie.
Warfare sounds good. I mean, I would give any of these a shot.
Yes.
Absolutely. If you get out and see anything this weekend, definitely let us know at 8772 Radio U. We'd love to hear your review. And of course, we'll have what we've seen lately, the box office breakdown coming up on Monday. That's your weekend watch list. We'll see you at the movies.
Well, Hudson, I am depressed now.
Do you need some medication or
no?
Not that kind of depressed?
I just need you to hear me out.
Okay. You need to vent.
I need a vent. I just need to get it off my chest.
Okay.
You know, I shared earlier in the week about me sleeping at the station because my car broke down on Sunday night. It's still at the mechanic. It's going to be a pretty expensive, little repair here, which is annoying. But the car is old. It's 10 years old and it has like 180,000 miles on it. So it's nearing the end of its cycle for me.
Yeah, that's a lot of miles in 10 years.
It's a lot of miles, and it's been a good car for me. It's done a lot, but I do feel like I need to start thinking about moving on.
Time to move on. It sounds like it's a relationship.
I know, right? I did name the car Clifford, so it is kind of like it is. Well, it's near and dear to my heart.
You know what they say in Monsters, Inc.?
What?
The wise words of Mike Mazowski. Once you name it, you start becoming attached to it.
Yes, he's absolutely right.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I've thought about like, okay, how much more money can I put into this car before it starts to get a little ridiculous? And I'm starting to get to that point with how expensive this repair is. But yeah, so I started looking yesterday at some used cars to see about, all right, maybe I need to start thinking about buying a new car, new to me, not a new car, but new to me. And that is the depressing part. These prices are crazy.
Yeah, out of control, right? They're
so out of control that it's like, I don't know if I can buy a new car.
Do you think part of it is that, so I know it's weird how many people I know right now that do need a new car. It feels like everyone around me has some kind of curse or something on them.
Oh no!
So I don't know. Maybe
was it you that cursed me?
Yeah, you might just be might just be your lot in life because you were introduced to me. But and everybody is like, the prices are insane.
Yeah.
But I do wonder, and I'm sure the prices are insane, but at the same time, I think there's part of it because like you're not always looking for a new car.
Yeah.
And so you almost like forget in between the time from when you buy a car to the next time, how much like it actually really will be.
Well, I will say,
maybe you have hope that it goes down, and it seems to never go down.
Right, true. I will say though, when I bought this car, which was 5 years ago, it for what you could get now, the equivalent of what it would be, it's almost $10,000 more.
What?
Yeah, like literally, like what the mileage was, what the year of how old the car was at the time, and kind of the where it stands as far as what it was worth or whatever. It's a lot more now to get a car that's similar. So it is a little depressing. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that definitely hurts.
Yeah.
You should use that as a negotiating tactic. When you go to buy one.
When I bought this car or a similar car, it was $10,000 less.
Yep. Yeah. 10 years. Or how long ago did you buy it?
I bought it in 2020. I will say I did negotiate it down, which is a thing you should always do. You should always try and negotiate when you're buying a car. I'm not good at negotiating, but my dad was like, you gotta negotiate. And he wasn't with me. And so I was like, I gotta negotiate. And I did. I did it. I stood up for myself. I was proud, but I never want to do that again. I never want to do that again. I told my dad, I was like, if I buy a car anytime soon, you are coming with me.
Yeah, he needs to go. You cannot buy, I don't think you can buy a car alone.
I
don't mean you personally. I mean anybody. You should not buy a car alone. You need to have some backup.
I am convinced you need backup. You need a second pair of eyes to look over the car as they're showing it to you, because obviously they're trying to sell you a car, and so they're going to point out the good things and not the bad things. And sometimes I don't have the most critical of an eye, and so I need that second pair of eyes with me.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure there's probably some people out there. We must have some car salesmen or women.
Yeah.
That might have a deal for you, Allie.
Maybe
8772 Radio U. I do charge a finder's fee. An incredibly strong case for online shopping is being made in Sarasota, Florida right now, where there's one shopping area that is literally basically unshoppable because there are hawks in the area.
Oh, no.
And these hawks are territorial. So territorial, in fact, that like the businesses there have called in the wildlife, people, the wildlife, whatever it's called in the area, to come and deal with the hawks. And those people have been attacked.
Oh, no.
These are the experts. These are people whose job it is to deal with hawks. They're getting attacked if they come in. Mm-hmm. They sent the news out with actual helmets on, like riot gear, basically, to show the situation. And sure enough, the newscaster also gets attacked. I got to say credit to the cameraman, because the camera is steady the whole time. That cameraman was not worried. He was very assured by the helmet or whatever. But you can imagine how this would make business very difficult for the businesses there. Yeah.
Apparently this is like nesting season for these hawks. And so I guess the main reason why they're so territorial is because they are trying to have babies. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to protect their little area so that no other hawks or other predators come in and, mess that up in some way. Or, kill or attack their eggs or whatever.
Yeah.
But so that to me makes sense why they would be kind of like anyone nearby they see as a threat. Mm-hmm. So they're just like swooping down, dive bombing them. The videos of it are absolutely insane. Literally someone from the Florida Wildlife Commission, an officer, is attacked on video.
And they're not wearing riot gear.
No.
So they're just all exposed to the talons and all.
Yep.
That hawks can bring. And I know what you're thinking too, like, well, why don't they just move the nest or get rid of it or whatever?
Can't do it.
You can't. The hawks are a protected species in Florida, and particularly while they're nesting, that cannot be moved. Yeah. So an unfortunate situation, and the hawks they're just living life. It's not their fault that you put up a shop right outside of their nest.
Right. They're living on instinct alone. So you can't blame them for wanting to protect their nest, but yeah, it is kind of awful for the business owners there that are struggling now with this, and they're getting attacked. Their customers are getting attacked. And so it's just caused a huge headache for them.
I would use this as an excuse to call into work for sure.
Yeah.
Calling, sorry, I can't make it.
By a hawk.
Yeah. I'm not going to get attacked by a hawk today.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. They say the suggestions that the Wildlife Commission has for what to do is use noisemakers. That might scare them off.
Okay.
Also, use bright, shiny, and reflective objects to scare them off. They told the businesses maybe try hanging wind chimes.
Oh.
Might work, because that kind of kills two birds with one stone. Loud and shiny. Also, they say park really close to the building.
Like literally next to it?
Yeah,
maybe
so
next to the door?
So that you just walk right inside.
Maybe park in the building.
Maybe if they can't move the nest, could they remove the handicap only sign so that anybody can park there, in the prime spot, so they can just go right in the business?
Yeah, but then what will the handicap person do?
they would park there too. And if the spot's full, then you just can't go. I mean, whether you're handicapped or not, you're going to get attacked if you park further away. So
from the video looks like there's a little bit of a walking distance between the parking and the building. So I don't think even if you had the handicap spot, it would solve anything.
If everybody has to park far away, then eventually they'll all be handicapped.
Good point.
Yeah. Unless
they're all getting attacked by the hawk.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the eventual outcome. The Senate is finally taking on something important. I'm glad that they're doing this. There was hearings yesterday on a subject that they call lock the clock.
Oh.
AKA getting rid of daylight saving time, switching the clocks.
Well, is it ending daylight savings or just ending the time switching?
That's the debate.
Yeah.
First of all, can we just end the time switching?
Yeah.
Second of all, if we do, which time do we go with? The one that we've been on, or the current time, in other words, daylight savings time, or do we switch it back later this year and then stick with that, the wintertime time?
Yeah. Because right now we're on daylight.
Yeah.
Some people think we should stay on daylight forever.
That's what I think.
Yeah. And some people think we should, once we go back to standard, to stay with standard.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw something yesterday, which I thought was kind of confusing, but President Trump has been very outspoken about this, how he wants this to end.
Yeah.
He hasn't said which one he wants, but he wants the switching to end, which I think everyone can kind of agree we want the switching to end.
I think that is, the consensus is we don't need to switch the clocks all the time.
Yeah. And so, but anyways, he's been outspoken on this issue for a while, but apparently a couple days ago he said, well, it's a 50-50 issue and it's hard to get excited about a 50-50 issue. Mm-hmm. And everyone's like, well, what do you mean it's a 50-50 issue? You've been very much in support. Mm-hmm. But what he was saying was it's a 50-50 issue on which time to change to, which I think is absolutely true because literally everyone has a different opinion on which one we should be on.
And yesterday they were putting some of those out there, and I'm going to be honest, I really don't think any of the, like, at the end of the day, I'll just be happy if we just stop doing it.
Sure.
But none of the arguments in favor of switching to standard time, which like winter time, they do not resonate with me at all.
No, me either.
Oh, the kids will have to go to school in the dark. They still do. And like, you think too, like it depends on which time zone you're in and where in the time zone you are.
Yeah.
When you switch to that wintertime time, it gets dark so early. If you're on like the western, it's the western side, right, of a time zone.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
We don't need to do that.
It's so early and it's so sudden. That's what I hate, is because like time is supposed to change gradually based off of where we are in our orbit, because it changes over time where you are with in coordinates with the sun. And so that to me is the most annoying part of it, is it's like suddenly it goes from like being dark at like 6:30 to being dark at like 5 o'clock, like 4:55, and it's just instantaneous. I hate that so much.
It gets late early.
Yeah.
You know what though? Like I said, I'll be happy. I will put up with it if we switch to the standard time and just leave it there and whatever. But I'm a solutions oriented guy. What if we just move the clocks half an hour and meet in the middle? And just leave it there.
Would that be a possibility?
Why not? Why not?
No one's brought up that as a third solution.
Newfoundland is already 30 minutes off with everybody else. and literally, so why can't we do that?
Yeah.
As a country, we could be 30 minutes off of the entire world.
It's already going to be a mess because there are some states that don't switch. And so it's going to be a mess.
And they're doing just fine.
They're doing just fine. But I just mean, like, imagine if they're on one time, we're on, I mean, we already have time zones, but like, you know, they're just like staying with standard. The rest of us are staying with daylight. You know, it's going to be a mess.
We do need to sync everything up.
Yeah.
Either way. How about we just give the United States all one big time zone?
No, that's a terrible idea.
I think that's a great idea. No. I'm just trying to think of something, because we got to stop what we're doing now. We did do the weekend watch list today, letting you know which new movies are out in theaters. But I think odds are a Minecraft movie will still be number one when we do the box office breakdown on Monday.
Most likely. It's still making lots and lots of money.
And the experience people are having at these theaters going to see the Minecraft movie is unbelievable. I think it's hit its peak. I think this is peak Minecraft movie. and it has to dip from here.
You think so?
But here is peak Minecraft movie. So people have been throwing popcorn, shouting and hooting and hollering and spilling stuff and doing all kinds of crazy
Riding
things.
someone's shoulders.
There's video now. This has actually happened. Video proof. During the chicken jockey scene, somebody brought an actual chicken into a movie theater. First of all, how? I get nervous if I sneak a water bottle into a movie theater.
I was going to say, how did they get away with this?
I get nervous sneaking Sour Patch Kids in my jacket.
Sir, what do you got in that bag right there?
Yeah.
Looking a little bulky.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just my pet chicken.
Did it just squawk? Did your jacket just squawk,
Right.
sir? And
what was that noise?
But what I know is the movie theater employees, like, honestly, you sneaking in snacks is the least of their worries. Like, they do not care, especially when there's popcorn being strewn throughout the theater.
Yeah, they're working overtime to make sure that these Minecraft theaters are getting cleaned because it's just crazy what is happening in them.
Yeah. Now, I will say this chicken has to be happy.
Why?
What are you talking about? There's popcorn everywhere. I feel like a chicken would love popcorn.
Yeah, maybe.
So you just said, I mean, that's actually kind of nice.
It's a service.
It is. Like they were being nice by bringing this chicken because it will help clean up the theater before the employees get in there.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That guy that brought the chicken should definitely do that.
But this video is I've seen some wild ones from the chicken jockey scene that's just gone so viral and everybody's treating it crazy. But this is the craziest one. It's not just that the chicken is in there. That's not the only crazy thing happening. There's people like running the aisles. There's like the person that has the chicken is on somebody else's shoulders. An entire section, just everybody threw their popcorn. And then I'm also thinking, think of all the money spent on that popcorn just to throw it everywhere.
Yeah, just to waste it. It's...
Well, is it a waste to be a part of something?
Did you notice something, though?
What's that?
In this video?
What's that?
The theater goes nuts.
Uh-huh.
The theater itself, like the employees, turn the lights on and turn the movie off.
Oh, well, at this point, you got to kick all these people out.
Yeah, like I just wanted to point that out because it's like they didn't let them keep watching the movie.
They didn't even give them a minute. Like they just instantly
turned the lights on.
Oh, they gotta if I'm a movie theater, I'm almost like, we need to make a no chicken jockey cut. You know what I mean?
Cut it out.
Cut that part out of the movie.
Would that would be even worse? I feel like people would riot.
Yeah, you're right. I do think this is going to be on the downturn now because it's getting out of control. First of all, if it wasn't already. Also, Jimmy Fallon just did a bit about chicken jockey.
It's not cool anymore.
He killed it.
Yep.
He single-handedly has ended it.
Every movie theater owner and employee is thanking Jimmy Fallon.
He did it on behalf of the movie theaters, I'm sure.
He's like, I'll do this for you guys.
This is not going to be funny at all, but we'll do it for the movie theater.
We'll do it for them.
Yeah, it's over.
Thanks for listening to the RadioU Podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.